This is going to be a fun one because I remember your earlier company, Amiga, back in the 80s and 90s when I was going to college, and we used to play with video editing and video production stuff back then, right? But tell me who you are.
Well, I'm Philip Nelson with NewTek. We're, as you just mentioned, we are the company that really started the desktop video revolution back in the early 90s when we released the video toaster.
Yeah.
And for the first time in history, anybody, no matter how good or bad their idea was, could make a TV show.
And an ugly one at that.
Yeah, we were responsible
some people were.
Yeah, some good, but we were responsible for some really, really bad commercials too. But you know, the nice thing is anybody could make it.
Yeah.
There was still a problem though, and that was there was a gatekeeper. So I made this great show, and how do I get it out to the world? And so I'd have to go to a television station, buy airtime, go to a public access station and try to negotiate some airtime, but there was still a gatekeeper. And what's exciting about today, with NewTek today in 2008, is the internet has become the ultimate equalizer. Now, anybody with a great idea and a TriCaster, which is a live TV truck in a backpack, can make a show and distribute that show, so there's no one stopping them from getting this new, cool, or really bad show out to the world.
Yep. So let's back up here.
Okay.
We're here in San Antonio,
Yes.
right? And we're getting a tour of lots of little companies today. We're here in the Rackspace headquarters, which is really great. What does this thing do? So why do I need one of these? Because I do little videos with my cell phone now, and a lot of people have little cheap camcorders, or even us, we're doing a professional show on $6,000 HD cameras.
Right.
Why do I need one of these boxes?
Well, you know, TriCaster allows you to do live internet television, and the key word is live. You know, there's a couple of aspects of why TriCaster is really important. One is you want to make it look like a TV show. You know, you don't want to, you know, it's easier to sell sponsorships and get ads if it looks like it belongs on television. And so what TriCaster is, it's a 10-pound television studio in a backpack that allows you to mix cameras, pre-edited video, graphics, and then stream it out to, it can actually broadcast simultaneously to 3 things. And that's why it's called TriCaster. It can go to broadcast television, it can go to projectors or digital signage, or it can go to a webcast. It can do all 3 at the same time.
Okay.
So, you know, what we've seen is live is exciting, live is now. And, you know, that's why sports are live, that's why news is live, because, you know, even in the news business, once it's 6 hours old, it's very old news, and people are ready for the new hot story. So what we've tried to allow people to do is to create live internet television.
Yeah.
And that's what TriCaster really does.
So this little box, how much does this sucker cost?
TriCaster starts at $5 grand all the way up to 10 grand.
10 grand.
So,
and then I get some cameras. So like we have 2 HD cameras. We plug them in here. And then what can I do on here?
Okay.
Show me around the UI, and I hope I'm not in the way of the camera. So let me back up.
well, basically what we tried to do, this is a live truck in a backpack, as I mentioned,
Yeah.
but we wanted it to be easy enough that anybody could use it, because we're also seeing a lot of people that aren't traditional video gurus getting into internet TV. Like we've got Tom Green doing a live show from his house in California.
Yeah.
We've got 6th graders in Florida doing a weekly newscast. And in churches is a huge market, and there's always one guy that knows video and a bunch of people that have good intentions and can, you know, that we wanted it to be volunteer proof, so that it was easy enough that with a few minutes I could teach somebody how to make a live TV show, and then it looks like TV.
And I used to do a TV church at a TV state, or do TV at a church in San Jose, and I used to run camera and direct a little bit. But we spent hundreds of thousands of dollars for their equipment, which I think does pretty much what I'm seeing here on screen, which is you have a switcher that can switch between cameras. You have a way to roll in effects, right? So you can put a really cool, you know, what we call a lower third in a video with a title of somebody or something like that.
You can mix live cameras, as you can see here.
In fact, we have 2 cameras here.
Two cameras.
We have a camera back here and a camera here, right?
So we can do real-time 3D effects, and TriCaster allows you to do your traditional, you know, NTSC or SMPTE wipes, everything from a, you know, page curl, so you'll see the video curling, and you'll see it's really warping in real time.
Wow.
As I move the T-bar, you're actually warping the video.
I could never do that on our $100,000 switcher that we bought back in the 80s.
So you've always wanted to be on a cube, like in Superman flying off into space. There you go. But you know, we also allow you to do some pretty crazy effects. Everything from organic electrical effects, where it transitions your video,
that's really
to
cool.
I call these the useless but fun effects, where your video actually walks away and transitions. But you know, it gives you the idea that you can make anything. And you know, when it's a student video, they love these effects. The more more effects per minute is their measure of success. But if you watch professional television, it's cuts and fades, and very few of them. They want to just progress the story.
Yeah.
But we give you that ability. So we wanted it to be easy to use and portable and affordable. And so we can mix our live cameras, but we also found that most people don't have the ability to make graphics, and a real television show has graphics. So we hired a graphic artist from Hollywood to make graphic template pages, so you could actually have your lower third graphics or your left thirds, and I'll just call a few of them in. And so let's make you let's make your own graphics. So we're going to make the Robert Scoble, R-O-B-E-R-T, I got to learn how to spell, S-C-O-B-L-E.
Yep.
And so there, now you have a title. And so,
oh, you get me CEO position?
you're CEO of New Tech now. Okay?
Oh, excellent.
You're taking a step down or a step up, depending on how you look at it. But we'll just say Tech Guru. Okay, so now you have your title. So let's say I'm on camera and you're my guest. So here, let me position this camera on my guest. And so what I'd like to do is, as I transition from me to you, I want to bring up this lower third graphic on you. So I double click, and now it's activated right here. And if I just hit the fade all key, watch what happens. I'm going to say, I'm here with Robert Scoble, and there comes Robert Scoble with his graphic. You have your graphic. Now, once you're identified, I can fade the overlay out so that now we're talking on camera. And let's say you wanted to roll in some pre-edited video. So let's say you did a trip to Hollywood, and we wanted to roll that in as part of our story. So I select in our VCR some video clips that we want to roll in, because most news shows are basically a live person tossing to pre-edited packages if you watch your local news. And we have this thing called Q mode. It's a smart tape operator. So let's say you're the host and you say, let's go to Hollywood and check out some footage that we shot. Yep. All I'm going to do is hit the auto button, and watch what happens. It actually starts my video for me. It starts playing it. So now that's going out live to the internet. And I'm going to make it count down. So it has 9 seconds. It's about a minute and 15-second clip. So I can wait till the end, and the TriCaster will automatically come back to you, or I can come out early. And notice it actually automatically advances down to the next clip. So now you can say, then we went and saw this great building. Check it out. It was really nice, and it was very bright and shiny, and we loved it. And we select a transition. So now we want to do a fade, and we come right back to our host. Wow. So it allows you to have all the functionalities to do a live TV show in one box that one person can operate. But there's another thing that we've added in, because we're finding, especially for internet television, it's a lot of times one guy in one little room, and you want to seem a lot bigger than you are.
Yeah, the Rocket Boom was done by one guy with an actress, right?
Well, let me show you something that is really cool.
People
this is a breakthrough that TriCaster made. And a few years ago at NAB is the big television, the show for anybody that does TV. And a few years ago, virtual sets was the hot buzz. Yeah. Everybody wanted to do a virtual set, but then they started getting pricing on virtual sets. And like, I can't spend $250,000 to, you know, it's cheaper to build a set than to buy a virtual set, so people just continue to build sets. Yeah. Well, in TriCaster, in the TriCaster Studio, which is what we're seeing, it actually, we include virtual set technology that is revolutionary.
Let's stop there for a second, because I was on one of those virtual sets. A friend of mine directs 2020 News, and they actually have one of those, and they can change between, you know, in 15 minutes they can change from one set to another, because it's just a black background with a bunch of white balls on it, and it looks like you're sitting in front of a desk and everything.
Holodeck from Star Trek, you know.
It's crazy, you know, but yeah,
but that's millions of dollars a gear.
Yeah.
And so what we want to do is allow anybody to do that. Why should you have to be a multi-millionaire television producer to do real virtual sets? So here's what I have. I have some video clips of a guy in front of a green screen. And this could be live, it could be pre-edited, we don't care. But what we do is, let me just turn off Q mode here. and get this playing. And I'm going to go to our input setup, and basically if we select the color of green that we want to be transparent and turn on our live mat technology, you'll see that now he's keying over just a generic background.
That means
we could punch.
Oh.
You can be there with Rex on camera. So that's just traditional chroma key. But I want it to be more exciting, so I'm going to go into a live set, and I'm going to turn on live set for Rex, and watch this. He's now in a virtual set, and you'll see behind him he's casting soft drop shadows, and what we wanted to do is allow you to look, make you look bigger than you are. And so that's a close-up. From one camera, we can have him sitting at a desk, and look what's on the screen behind him. He's got a plasma on his set that's actually our live camera, and it's reflecting in the desk. And if we do the wide shot, it looks like you're in a giant studio. Rex is actually reflected on the floor. You're reflected down here on the floor. See my finger? And we can send that out to our camera, so it's a live virtual set. So now we have another camera angle on the same set. Yeah.
How long does it take to learn to run this? Because this looks pretty cool.
At least 30 minutes.
At least 30 minutes.
We did a deal with the NBA, and they're actually the first professional sports league. The NBA D-League is the first professional sports league to stream every game for free.
Wow.
And we took TriCasters around to all these 14 D-League teams and spent about an hour or so training interns, and then they started switching basketball games.
And do you get the switcher for free?
No, that's extra, but you can use your keyboard. It just depends. People that are in television normally want this. It's like a touch typist. I want to hit the buttons. But, you know, students, they're like gamers that can do 12 keyboard combo attacks in their favorite game. So, you know, you can use a keyboard, or you can just use the mouse.
How much is this, actually?
This is $9.95.
Okay.
So it's just, you know, it's an option, but I can use the keyboard. You know, this row in the switcher is also your numeric F row, and then the preview row, or your next row, is your numeric row right here.
Wow.
So let's put on a second virtual set. So we turn on a Rex in a live set. So now what we have is we have live switching from one virtual set to the next.
Yeah.
And you're the guest on Rex. Is like, all right, we're now here. I'll simulate a little live show here just for fun. So Rex is on camera, and he's like, we're here live with Robert Scoble from Rackspace. Robert, tell us what's going on there today.
Oh, it's going great. We're getting tours and meeting lots of really interesting entrepreneurs and all that fun stuff.
So then we fade out your graphic, and then Rex comes back, and Rex is live on camera. So you get the idea that this is very, very powerful.
Yeah.
And you know, the neat thing for us is when we designed TriCaster, we knew schools would want it.
Yeah.
We knew businesses would want it to do CEO webcasts to their stockholders. But the one that has just really taken off is the professional sports. I mean, we did 80 hours of live streaming from the Super Bowl this year for ESPN Radio. Fox Sports did Major League Baseball All-Star Game in San Francisco. We did the World Series for Fox. We did the NFL Summit with, you know, all the Fox talent. We also did NHL. They did the Winter Classic, which was an outdoor hockey match in Buffalo, New York in January, which crazy fans, 70,000 fans show up to freeze to death and watch an outdoor hockey match. But all the pregame was streamed with TriCaster. So it's really changing internet television, and it's the fact that it's live, because live is something people make an appointment to be at a live show. If something's archived, they might watch it, they might not, they might be busy, but if it's a live show and they know it's content or some topic that they're interested in, they're going to make an appointment to watch your show. And that's one of the things that we've found is very important to sponsors, because any great idea is just an idea until somebody pays you to do it. Yeah. And so what we found is sponsors are actually gnashing at the bits to try to find more sellable inventory, things they can sponsor, ways to get eyeballs watching these shows. One little story I'd like to share with you, and it was an idea that MTV had. The #1 show on MTV is called The Hills. Yeah. It's basically, why did Spencer dump Holly, and I think she might be pregnant. That's the topic of the show. Well, they have all these teenage girls and boys that won't admit they watch it, watching this show on MTV. They wanted to find a way, how do we take those eyeballs from the broadcast and now bring them to the web and sell more sponsorships and have more sellable inventory? Well, we did the Hills After Show Party. We took a TriCaster, set it up in a superfan's basement in New Jersey. They had 3 of her friends sitting on the couch with a VJ from MTV. So you watch the Hills, and then they say, log on to thehills.mtv.com and watch the After Show Party. 500,000 kids tuned in. to a 15-minute webcast to figure out why Heidi and Spencer got back together. And it just is the real start of this, the long tail content. And also it also allows you to try new ideas that you might not be a proven money maker.
I'm just amazed. I mean, literally, I worked in a TV station in the 80s, and these two pieces of equipment cost $150,000.
Right.
And they didn't do nearly, I couldn't do chroma keying like what you're doing. I couldn't do all the weird effects. I couldn't do the, the automatic stuff. This is just amazing. In 20 years, you've totally transformed TV and made it, 1/10 the cost.
1/10 the cost and easy enough that anyone can do it. That's the key, because even when you're talking about the studio you worked with, you had to be trained, and there were 5 people sitting in there, each running their own little station. Now it's made so one person can go in, produce a quality live webcast.
Yeah, I had one guy just running the VTRs, the VCR, the equivalent of the VCR, that pushing the button and making sure everything was queued up, because we didn't have this ability to auto cue things. That we'd have to have a director going, "Hey, I need that tape.
Pre-roll it, go." It is an exciting time, and for us, we're just now seeing the explosion of internet television. And you're a web guru, so you've been there on the bleeding edge of this and seeing it happen. But for us, a lot of the telcos and cable networks actually try to pitch that the IPTV is traditional content that you watch on cable today, distributed through the internet back to a set-top box that's displayed on your TV. But what's the real revolution is content that people never turn on their TV. I go straight to my computer and watch this content, or they consider it the second screen experience.
How many people, by the way, how many people work at NewTek?
You're
here in San Antonio.
We're based here in San Antonio. We're around 100 people. I look at us as kind of the rebel alliance of the television business, a ragtag band of freedom fighters trying to change the world, and we're doing it. It's really exciting.
You got some of the best programmers in the world. I met one of them last night, but they built. You guys came out of the Amiga world. You built the stuff for the Amiga, which was just amazing technology. And you can see this stuff ain't easy. Software-wise, this took a lot of work. Right?
We have a lot of. We have
it's not 15 lines of JavaScript code in here.
We have a high concentration of very smart people that are just really doing some amazing stuff. People that are just they don't communicate well with humans, but they can make the computer.
They were doing pretty good last night.
Well, Aussie's actually the spokesperson for those guys. The rest of them are just kind of don't talk to people. But it is fun, and it's exciting to be part of this revolution and to see this sweeping implementation. And I talk about the high-end guys like the NHL and the NBA, but to me the exciting part is seeing little kids do it. When you see a 6th grader do a live TV show, it's just really exciting, because that's the future.
Why did NewTek happen here in San Antonio? Why not San Francisco? This seems like a really cool company for San Francisco, or
well, Topeka
or New York.
NewTek started out in the hotbed of high tech, and that's Topeka, Kansas. Everybody's fighting to get in Topeka. Actually, seriously, it was hard to recruit programmers into Topeka. So as we started looking around, where would NewTek relocate? We looked everywhere. We looked at the Research Triangle. We looked at Austin. We looked at San Francisco. We looked at a lot of different places. But San Antonio's cost of living and entertainment and quality of life, I mean, we can go to, our offices are 5 minutes from Six Flags. You could skip lunch and go ride a roller coaster and be back in time to work. We could go to SeaWorld, we can go see the Spurs, we take clients to the Riverwalk. It's really a great place to entertain clients, it's a great place to recruit people, cost of living is unbelievably low. No state income tax is a beautiful thing, so we love San Antonio, we're big fans now.
Very cool. Well, thank you for giving me a little tour. Is there where do we find out more about it?
Find out more about it at newtek.com, www.newtek.com.
And can we take one of these home?
I think you need one. You need a lovely parting gift.
Rocky's going,
Rocky, we get the thumbs up from Rocky. That means you need to leave here with a TriCaster. I think I might be able to work that out. I appreciate it, Robert.
I'm just kidding. Rocky's not.
Rocky, how'd you like a TriCaster? I think we can arrange it.
We got to try this out for Fast Company Live.
Sounds like
really cool. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.